Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting on a Fan. I feel very relaxed, I feel very casual. It's been a while since I've done videos in my bedroom, and my celestial mother is behind me, or to the side of me. The Buddha's in the background with the blue globe. Anyway, so right now the date is Tuesday, July 25th, 2017. The time is approximately 9:30 p.m. I want to shout out to Gothica, and I also want to acknowledge that right now I have 110 subscribers. Yay! I'm excited about that. I'm very excited about that. I don't know if YouTube gives out awards to people that have 100 plus subscribers. I know that for 10,000 plus they give them something, or a few somethings. But you know, if I do receive something, I'll find out soon enough. And I also want to acknowledge that, well, at this point it's kind of moot, but before this video, which is the second of 3 videos being recorded in one fell swoop, I have 142 videos on my YouTube channel. So for those of you that have been hoping to catch up, good luck. Because I have 9 videos in queue, meaning that in my laptop's hard drive there are 9 videos, or about 9 videos that need to be uploaded. And one of them, I'm actually, at least 2 of them I'm uploading tomorrow, like no matter what. They must go up, because one of them needs to happen like ASAP. I want to talk a little bit about this past weekend. This past weekend's energy was really powerful. And you know, I don't talk about Western astrology in my videos often enough, but I can honestly say that Western astrology has been a passion of mine for a long time. I love talking to people about Western astrology. I love talking about other astrological systems. I find it fascinating. It's one of my personal favorite metaphysical topics of conversation. I do not feel as though I'm being taken advantage of when somebody wants to talk to me about Western astrology. Because I know that some people have been like, well, I don't want to infringe on your free time. Like, they don't want to, you know, like, have me talk about Western astrology and then I draw up an invoice and say, this is what you owe me, pay me. No, it's not like that. It's just, I really enjoy talking about it. Now, talking about somebody's astrological chart, you know, I would say, well, this is what you need to do and whatnot. I don't do astrological charts on a regular basis because for me it's very involved. I don't just look up people's astrological placements. I look at the different goddesses and gods that correspond to that planet and sign combination. And I talk about how that deity could be an asset to that native. That native is the Western astrological term for the client, the one whose horoscope is being cast. And I'm going to have my audio-visual tech person just take a look at something, because from my vantage point it looks like the lens is to the side and it's not facing me directly. But yeah, that didn't help. But okay. Yeah, so, and mind you, I'm still getting used to this beautiful Samsung camcorder. I think that by the 100th video recorded on it, I'll probably be used to it. Or maybe I need to, like, do some videoing of myself and you know, and the world. But I really love, this past weekend was really powerful. And, you know, first of all, last Saturday was July 22nd, 2000, hold on, 23 was Sunday. So yes, last Saturday was July 22nd, 2017. That was the date the sun entered Leo. And then the following day, Sunday, day of the sun, magical traditions, we had the new moon in Leo. So that's a really powerful combination. You go from the sun entering one sign, the next sign in the zodiac, on one day, and then the following day you have a new moon. That's like carrying over that Leo energy. That's really powerful. And that it's a new moon in Leo on a Sunday, on a day of the sun. That's like, you know, and of course I'm saying this because my rising sign is Leo. I've often referred to myself as a typical rising sign Leo. Or to use the correct, hello, Corey, come over here. You know, if you were a dog, you'd be over here in a second. But Corey is a very unique animal. Of my 3 cats, she is the most unusual of the 3. Okay, she's just looking around. So yeah, you know, and of course my moon sign, my natal moon sign is Aquarius, which is the polar opposite of Leo. So there's a lot of Leo energy that I'm feeling and radiating and relishing, to be quite honest. So now the interesting thing is that recently I gave a phenomenal, if I do say so myself, private cross. Hello, Corey. Do you have her in the shot? Mm-hmm. Is she in the shot? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is Corey. She is my first rescued stray. She's the most docile cat I have ever known. She's so beautiful. She's the least vocal of my cats. Seriously. She almost never meows, makes a peep. So, you know, me saying, Corey, Corey, nothing. See what I mean? Anyway. She's also the fluffiest and the hairiest of my cats. You know, I'm going to quote my audiovisual person, my awesome audiovisual person, who's also my amazing computer tech person. She breathes and a fluff of hair flies up. That's like actually, I kind of bastardized this quote. That's the gist of it. That's almost identical to what he says about it. Anyway, so hi. I'm so happy you joined me in the video. Yes. So cute. I love you. So yeah, so so anyway, I'm gonna focus, I promise. So recently I conducted a powerful, beautiful, amazing, sacred private prosperity class with somebody who is a long-standing client, a phenomenal friend, a faithful student, and a fellow spiritual light worker whose energy is just phenomenal. And her sun sign happens to be Leo. So, you know, we were talking about this, you know, this particular weekend, and about this sun entering Leo followed by the new moon in Leo. So it was just really powerful to talk about it with somebody whose sun sign is Leo, and it probably has at least one other planet in Leo. And what we talked about were getting back to some really powerful spiritual practices. So I want to share with you what those spiritual practices are. I know some of you are thinking Robert Alvarez is having a back-to-school sale. No. Neither is Robert Alvarez, the psychic witch. But let me show you hello, you look so cute. You're bathing yourself. Okay. So I try not to disturb them when they're grooming. So here is what I have, 3 notebooks. So let me tell you a little bit about what I'm doing with this one. So this is I got teal blue with a purple pen. We've talked about how much I love purple pens. So what I'm doing with this particular notebook, that I'm using as a journal, and this is something that I have not... I do love dogs. I don't love that dog right now, but I do love dogs. Like I was saying, so what I'm doing with this particular notebook is something that I had not done in several years, and that is on this page, which I would call the left page, I pull a tarot card and I write down my interpretations of that tarot card, like what comes to me through goddess or spirit, if you will. And I of course, what I like to do is I write the day of the week, the date, including the year, and the approximate time. And then I'll write down the name of the tarot card, and then I will write down my interpretations. And then on this side, which I'm calling the right side, I pull a card from an oracle card deck or a divination deck. Same thing, I write the day of the week, I write the date, I write the time, and this is something that I had not done in so many years. And I want to show you the decks that I'm using to work with this. And I must also thank one of my and really he is one of my personal favorite YouTube channel content creators, and also one of my personal favorite tarot enthusiasts, and also one of my personal favorite YouTube channel subscribers, Two Spirit, because he turned me on to this deck. This is called the Master Tarot Deck by Astrology Answers. And I will tell you, I almost never use reversed cards in my readings, my professional client readings. I never use reverse cards for readings for myself. But this is the back of the card design. Now, you see the double A for Astrology Answers. So I know when I look at the back of each card if it is upright, meaning if it is right side up, or if it is reversed, meaning upside down. I love that. The imagery is gorgeous. It has almost like a graphic novel style. And those of you who have watched some of my previous videos, I have raved about the artistry of, among others, Antonella Platano, who has thus far illustrated 5 tarot decks, all of which have been published by Lo Scarabeo, which is in Torino, Italy. And I have all 5 of them because I love her artistic style. So much so. I mean, 5 tarot decks that she's illustrated, and I have all of them. You know, what does that tell you? And the Oracle card deck that I'm using for the Oracle card deck is Doreen Virtue's newest Angels of Abundance Oracle cards. And I love this tarot deck. I mean, I love this Oracle card deck. I don't know, and I'm going to ask my audiovisual person to look. I'm going to shimmy this back and forth. I don't know if the camera is getting the prismatic star. It's not. It's pretty, or as I would say, it's purdy. It's prismatic, you know. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling an Oracle card from this deck every day. And what's amazing is that this is actually helping me reestablish prosperity consciousness on a very deep level. And that's going to segue to something else. So, this is my newest Money Miracle Journal. And I'm using yellow because yellow has to do with the mind, with infinite intelligence, with higher consciousness. So what I do is actually, some of you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. So in my group prosperity classes and in my private prosperity classes, I talk about money miracles. And essentially what I describe as a money miracle is something wonderful and delightful that happened in your life that coincided, and again I want to make sure that you saw what I did. Coincided, quotation marks. I'm sorry, I heard a sound in the living room and I'm wondering what cat is doing what. Ah, okay. Isis, the alpha female, is drinking water. So it sounded for a moment like she was scratching something that she's not supposed to be scratching, and I'm like, I would have paused this video and been like, Elia, ¿qué está haciendo? So this is my Money Miracle Journal. And it's interesting because, you know, I don't usually talk about this, but I did something last weekend that helped me physically manifest some much needed money. And I was delighted when the same day that I concluded that particular thing, I received $100 in the mail. Yes, it works. Yes, it does. And so, for my Money Miracle Journal, I basically write some things that happened in my life that, again, coincided, using these quotation marks, because there is no such thing as coincidence, with something that I did. Like, let's say that I used a prosperity prayer 3 times in a row, and I started doing that on the new moon in Leo, and I did that for 30 days in a row. And then somebody, you know, hires me to give readings that his or her corporate party and special event and basically says whatever you want to charge is okay with me, and here you go. That I would call a massive money miracle. So I am enjoying using a money miracle journal again, because I hadn't done it in so long, and it was time to start a new one. And speaking of money miracles, I am doing something that I had not done in a very, 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 very long time. And that was John Randolph Price's 40-Day Prosperity Plan. Now, if you have not already purchased this book, The Abundance Book by John Randolph Price, this is the book that contains the 40-Day Prosperity Plan. When I would teach the 40-Day Prosperity Plan in my group prosperity classes and in my private prosperity classes, I would teach it a little bit differently than how it's than how Mr. Randolph Price teaches it in this book. And I was just going with my divine guidance, but it is a wonderful prosperity plan. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And I've been doing this, I began doing the 40-Day Prosperity Plan by John Randolph Price, I'm going to say 2009 or 2010. And the crazy thing was, every single time that I stopped, like if I was interrupted, it was because of a major well-being issue, like a major health and well-being issue. The thing about the 40-Day Prosperity Plan, if you miss even one day of the required writings, you must start from the very beginning. I know that that may seem harsh and that may seem unfair, but I promise you it does not work any other way. It absolutely works to do the required daily writings for that 40-day period. And look, Isis, the alpha female, has graced us with her presence, her royal matronage. I love you. She's looking at me like, fuck you, bitch. She's the Dark Queen for a reason. Come on. You know you love me. You love me. I love you too. Wish you'd let me pick you up. Yes. Let me love you. Let me love you. Ugh, que majadera. But she's here, right? Yeah. Anyway. Unfortunately, Isis has been dealing with the high temperatures and high humidity even less well than I have. So she is enjoying this cooler weather. So am I. And I do want to apologize if it sounded monotonous, that I've been complaining about the hot weather. I really didn't mean to complain. It's actually physically debilitating for me in a lot of ways. I find that when the temperature is especially high and humid, it exhausts me faster. It drains my physical energy level. It makes it difficult for me to concentrate on things. Even simple tasks become chores. I've joked with close friends that I must be one of the few people on the planet that would ever go away for the winter, as opposed to the summer. But that's another story. So I began a new cycle of the 40-Day Prosperity Plan, and I have been enjoying doing this because, you know what, for a brief period of time, it seemed like I was forgetting the daily writings, and there were no health and well-being issues that caused that to happen. Like the first time in years that I missed a day, I had what I call a divinely orchestrated stroke. And I was in the hospital a lot longer than I thought I would be, and I didn't have this, I didn't have a notebook, I didn't have my pens, so I couldn't continue it. And then I had some complications from my divinely orchestrated stroke a year later, and I missed another day, and then I had to start all over again. But this is one of the most simple and one of the most powerful things that I have ever used and done to create, manifest, and maintain a powerful amount of prosperity consciousness. And what I've found amazing is that some of the money miracles that I've manifested have been over a series of days or weeks when I do this. And I remembered that, and this really started to happen back in 2015. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I had to take a sip of some Café Bustelo. Let me take another one. It was so good. It's a little cooler now, but it's still very good. Anyway, like I was saying, so there was a period of time when it seemed like no health and well-being issues were getting in the way of me forgetting one of the day's required writings. And I thought to myself, but this is so ridiculous. And it was very frustrating, it was very aggravating. And I think, and I could be wrong, but I think the goddess was teaching me to be compassionate to those students who had missed a day. And I don't think that I had any problem being compassionate towards them. I think it was just a matter of, well, okay, then did you start a new one? And it got to the point when I just became so frustrated. I'm like, you know what? I think I need to take a break from doing the 40-day prosperity plan and do a new prosperity plan. And then I started no prosperity plan. And then I think too much time went by, and it started to clog up my prosperity consciousness. So I'm doing a new one, and really no coincidence, the day after I start a new one, I receive $100 in the mail. So clearly this was the right time. The right time. And I've already done, I'm on day 3 of a new one. But if you have not already purchased this book, I highly recommend it, because you know what it is? See, when I would teach this in my group prosperity classes, I would teach it differently than how John Randolph Price teaches it. But I would also have what I call a goddess-sized version. So the goddess-sized version would have everything in the divine feminine. Like, I'll read a passage from what I call the introductory statement, which I forgot what John Randolph Price calls it. I am reconnecting with this. So here's this portion. I believed in the power of money. Therefore, I surrendered my God-given power and authority to an objectified belief. Now, a goddess-sized version of that would be, I believed in the power of money. Therefore, I surrendered my goddess-graced power and authority to an objectified belief. So instead of God-given, goddess-graced. And I did that with the initial statement, and I did that with the supplementary statements. And I love the goddess-sized version, but this time I felt divinely guided to start with the God version. Because I do find that it's important to balance honoring the divine feminine as well as honoring the sacred masculine as a balanced pair that create the whole one. So these have been my journal writing forays lately, which I've been enjoying. So I know some of you were like, he's having a back to school sale. No, no. So yes, so I'm enjoying that very much. Now I want to talk about something really cool. So every once in a while, I will go to discount stores. And you know, I know that some people have issues with used merchandise and gently used merchandise, but you know what? I found some really cool things in a thrift store. So this is a very, very unique tarot deck. It is called the Rohrig Tarot by Carl W. Rohrig. This was a gift from a dear friend of mine who also used my psychic services, who is now deceased. Now, I don't know if you can see how taped up this box is, but yeah. And I'm really sentimental. I mean, my client is deceased, my friend is deceased. I don't want to throw away the box because this contains the tarot deck that she gave me. And you know, so I'm gonna put this in a drawer someplace. But I really didn't have, it's been a while since I've purchased a tarot bag on Etsy or anyplace else. So the other day, yesterday in fact, I went into a thrift store and I saw these pouches that are probably used as makeup bags. But I thought to myself, well, you know what, I could use one of them for like any tarot decks or any oracle card decks that don't have boxes or pouches right now, because after a while these kind of like disintegrate. So I found this Air France thing, and look at this. The deck fits perfectly, and look at the blue. It matches the blue of the box. I was like, look at this. I'm like, they made for this. I'm telling you. And I'm thrilled with this. I mean, I cannot tell you how much I love this. I can just like whip it out like this, like, hey, wakata. Some of the cards got stuck in there. Anyway, so yeah, I love this deck because the cards are really tall, and I think I've talked about how actually in my very first tarot tag video, I've talked about how I've always found decks that are unusually shaped intriguing, as well as those that have dark, rich jewel tones. But I am looking forward to reviewing this tarot and oracle card deck called Sacred Awakening by Sarah. I think that's her name. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. By Sarah Esther Felix. Yes, 67 cards and guidebook. This is actually going to be my next tarot oracle card deck review video. I'm not doing it now because but be on the lookout for this. Check my notes. Yes, so I'm also in the process of going through the 142 videos that I have uploaded at this point. And I'm also going through the videos that are in the queue, meaning the ones that have yet to be uploaded. And I'm definitely going through them because I want to make sure that they look the right way. I love how when I look at the visual and audio quality of my videos now, they're a lot better than my very first ones, and that makes me happy. It's YouTube. It's I think it's expected that if somebody's going to be a YouTube channel content creator, that the audio and video quality of his or her videos or their videos needs to be really good. So I'm happy that the audio and video quality has increased over the years. Okay, I think that's it for this video. So I want to thank you for honoring who I am and what I do. I, of course, want to immensely thank my awesome audio-visual tech person, who is also my amazing computer tech person, for taking time out of his schedule to record these videos and render these videos and make them look pretty and nice and sweet and all that other good stuff, because that means a great deal to me. And if you have not already subscribed, I invite you to subscribe. And I invite you to schedule your readings if you have not already done so. And I invite you to take advantage of the fact that right now I have a lot of time remaining for what's left of July and what's left of August. I know that I have 2 or 3 appointments in August, and I have none in September, strangely enough. So I would recommend that you schedule your readings ASAP. But for now, I wish you a beautiful evening and many blessings.